Nobody likes waiting. So why should your users wait until your application loads? I'm Vojtech, and I will be talking about how to optimize your application call size so it's smaller and it's faster. I work for a company called Flow. It's a small engineering company in Czech Republic, and we do these things on a daily basis. So I'm about to share our experience. How would you reduce an application size if it was your daily job? What would you do? What was the first thing you were doing with your application? Has anyone got an idea? Anyone? Okay, no ideas? Okay, so there are some tools that you should definitely do. It's compression. You should introduce compression in your application. You should optimize your assets. You should lazy load your modules. Use intelligent tooling. Why? Because there's modification, there's tree shaking, built in Angular, and there is also ahead of time compilation. What are the don'ts? Still nothing? Nobody? Imports. Okay, thank you. Something else?
Use non-recheckable libraries.
Really? Yeah. If a library has a side effect, that's bad. So libraries with side effects, bad imports. If you actually import something that's bad, for example, RxJS internal, somebody already did it, and in our team, it can cause a production bug. So take care of these for sure. You are using one big module that will be imported everywhere. That can mess up your application already. And you use a lot of tracking scripts, for third-party things like analytics. And also you use multiple fonts. There's a lot of fonts, a lot of characters, so that can be pretty bad. First thing is the compression. There are two most used solutions. One is gzip, that's compressed file format. It's supported from the start of everything, even the EI6 supports it. So it's there. Why shouldn't you use it? And the other one is Berkeley. Berkeley is also widely supported, but not that much. It's on the evergreen browsers, so most of us can use it in our application. If not, it can still be there, still be on the server, because there is an easy way how to fall back to the gzip. So what it is, Berkeley? It optimizes text-based assets. What does it mean? Is you can optimize JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. No pictures, but these three can still make up around 20% of saving compared to gzip, not compared to the uncompressed file, but compared to gzip, so even more. And it's backed by statistics, so you can find it on link. It got wide support. Support is basically in a plugin or it's built in the solution. For example, if you use Firebase, then both gzip and Berkeley are supported here. And it's pretty fast. It still can produce smaller files than gzip on the same time. There's tree shaking. Do you know what tree shaking means? Got an idea? It's something like this for the ones who don't know. This is the almond tree. This is how almonds are picked. And it's really similar of what's going on in the build, because it's term used for dead code elimination. What it does is that it uses import and export syntax. How? The libraries basically import and export their modules, and they don't have side effects within the modules. In that way, they are pure and they are safe to omit if something is not used, so you can just throw it away or take it out of the tree. When we are talking about omitting something, and there is the ahead of time compilation that's also built in Angular, and it means that a significant part of your code will not be used or will not be present in the production bundle. Why? Because it doesn't need to be there, because it is already pre-processed during the build time. It basically throws out all of the Angular bootstrap phase. So even the loading up is faster, not only the application is smaller. What does it do is that the HTML-like syntax is normally a big challenge for a compiler, but because it cannot be analyzed. But in Angular, we basically transpile this to normal TS or JS ES 2050's import syntax. So it actually can read what HTML stands for and use these imports to their advantage. So it's actually a really efficient way, and it is done during the build. The really big advantage is also the static analysis that's done during this phase, because it can actually improve your application size more. And one of the main things that's being done is that it allows you to support type checking in the templates. That's something that Angular has also built in, and many others don't allow this because they don't compile ahead of time, so they cannot type check the templates at all. So code splitting. It is a good thing to actually separate your code into chunks, and they are then loaded on demand. The whole application can be split into multiple files. These files are called chunks. One is the main. There are several feature chunks and others. The key thing is that the behavior must stay the same. You cannot alternate behavior of the application in a way. So what does it mean is that everything split, and there is a thing of, for example, it looks like this, and if you see the chunks, then you see the numbers that are the features. There's a main, there's a polyfills, and there is also common. Common is something that's basically if you use some code multiple times, for example, like more than once in your application or any module or anything, it all ends up in common module. So that's a misconception that's usually with the lazy loading or the code splitting, that everything is split into really small parts and then loaded on demand. Yes, it is, but only to some extent. If you actually have, I don't know, some directive that is in one feature and another feature, then it will end up in common or in main. It depends on the build. And that's misconception that Aaron Frost actually talked about in one of his talks. So if you want to see more, then please do. Lazy loading a feature. So this is something that we already see on the keynote. Application is really easy to be lazy loaded. Angular has it integrated. Only thing you have to do is to use the load children in the routing instead of the children. It looks like this. These two syntaxes are basically about equivalent. So you either import it or use the string. In Angular 8, you should use the string because that's the main things, and it's also type safe. You can preload any feature module. There are multiple ways of preloading. Intelligent preloading can speed up your application even more. It affect size, but also the performance. And as I said, there are multiple strategies. One is naive. There are some built-in. It's preload or no preload. Then there are strategies that are link-based, that will preload everything that I can get to via some link, button or click, or some AI-based. These are more intelligent and actually require some setup. They gather your user info and not user info, but the user behavior, and then preload based on these schemes. So this is how would your application look like in size. The numbers are in kilobytes, so it's more than almost 1.5 megabyte, the first one. And it is info from the Angular 1. It's from Minko Vojtech blog post. And what I wanted to show you is that if you only develop your application and don't care about anything else, if you do the same thing, if you do all the optimizations that we are currently talking about, you can end up with the last one. You can compare the size. Like the behavior stays the same, but the size is that much smaller. So take that in mind. Bundle size analysis. How should you analyze your bundles? It's easy way. You just build it with stats.json flag, and it will create an extra file. This file you will then provide into a web-based bundle analyzer, and you will end up with something like this. I think you've already seen it. It's a really nice way to analyze it. You can zoom in, you can see all the stuff. It's more convenient than using the dev tools, but still, sometimes it is good to have a look into a model itself, to see the code, to see what's in it. For example, you can find out that in, I don't know, 5 chunk or something, there is, I don't know, chart.js hidden, and I don't need it there. So you can still catch a lot of stuff. The other thing is the bundlephobia. It's really nice websites which shows you how the library behaves and what it actually all contains. Also the size is, for example, some load time. If it's recheckable, and this is RxJS, and you can see that between the versions 5.5 and 6 there was something big going on. Do you know what it is? The big drop? It was actually rewritten to bytable operators instead of the chaining. So there is no prototype chaining, but the bytable functions. And what it actually did, it was that it's currently reshakable, and it's also a lot smaller. This is why you should use the latest RxJS, for example. Other plugin is import cost. If you use VS Code or WebStorm, it's a really good one. Most of the time it does nothing, it just shows you these numbers, and you can just look at it and say, oh, so this is 1.29 kilobytes. But when you really do something bad, when you basically mess up, it will end up in green or red, and then you know that this should be done differently. So this is good to have as a backup. For example, if you know some of these, the last one, the ng squirrel, is the editor, like the text editor for the wrapper for the Angular, and it's really nice, but still it's really big. And if you imagine that you have an application where only admin can access the editor and actually edit the content, why should normal user pay for that download or actually wait for it for the whole application to load just because there is some editor? So these are perfect examples of what should be placeable. So there are budgets. You can actually, from the Angular 6, I think, can configure a budget. What it is that you just create or how big you are allowing your application to be. It looks something like this. You just define in the Angular JSON and they tell the bundle what's the size that you are allowing. But there are multiple options. You can see it on the link down there, and it will look like this. I purposely did something wrong, so it's big. So you can see that there are two warnings on one warning on one module and warning and error on another module. That means that something actually went wrong. And what does it mean? Is imagine you import something from the internal API of some library, for example, RxJS internal, and it will just yell at you, your application just got 100% bigger. So I'm not building this in CI, it will not end up in production. Another thing is the polyfills. For those of us who have to support all the browsers, you might need a polyfill. This is the original polyfill. It's the thing you would put into wall, so you can repair it. It's something. It basically got its name from it. It's a piece of code that you would expect that it is in a browser or somewhere, because the modern support it, but the older doesn't. So that's what polyfill is. And in the latest Angular, there are conditional polyfills. Conditional polyfills are easy way on how to save around 50 kilos of size of your application, just by not including these polyfills to the modern browsers. So you don't need to do anything else, but we'll see. You just manually import and manage the individual polyfills that are required, that are not required by Angular, but everything that is required by Angular is managed by Angular, and it is all controllable by this one flag that you will just use in the configuration, and it's enabled by default from 7.3, and no behavior should change. Everything should be the same if the options is disabled. Custom polyfills still can be added, so you still can have the polyfill somewhere aside where you are putting your polyfills, and it works with both JIT and AL2 polyfills, so that's great. These polyfills are served only to the browsers that actually need them, and that means that the evergreen will load it, and it can save more than 50 kilobytes on the modern browsers. It looks somehow like this. You can see that there is the normal polyfill somewhere. There is a normal one, the 3, and there is also the ES115. So there are basically two. There's differential loading. That's also something that's new in the Angular 8. We already seen it in the keynote. It means that modern browsers will acquire a different bundle, which is small because it doesn't include all the old syntaxes that are needed for the older browsers, and it uses the module and no module attribute. So it's basically already supported by most of the browsers, even the old ones. There are some issues, but these issues are covered by the CLI, so we don't have to worry. It uses browser list. I think most of us know what browser list is. It's just a configuration where you put what browsers you need and should support. And it currently is supported only when using the ES2015. So if you are compiling to the ES2019, it's not supported, but that will be in the future. It will look something like this in your application. So you'll see that there are actually two sets of bundles. One has the postfix of PS5, one has the postfix of the new one. So this is it, and this will work off the shelf. There is also really good presentation on how to optimize assets or a lot of other stuff that I didn't cover. So I encourage you to see it. The last session where we will be having most of this covered, and that's it. And I think for your attention.